So when we think of well-being, it is all the essential elements of what we consider to be a life well lived. Physical health is a part of it, but it's only a small part. When we think of well-being, we also think of the love that you have in your life. We call that social well-being. We also think about your attachment to your community, how safe you feel in it, how much you give back to it. We call that community well-being. We also have what we call financial well-being, which isn't about your wealth so much as it is about how you live within your means and manage your wealth to build financial security. And then finally, we have what we call purpose well-being. And purpose well-being is about having the right career for you, whatever that may be. As a worker, as a stay-at-home parent or house manager, as a student, as a retiree, are you doing something that you like to do? Are you doing something that you're naturally good at, that you use your strengths at? Do you learn and grow? That's what we call purpose well-being. So this definition is very comprehensive. We cast a wide net, but it has been built scientifically, and it's been built in a way that we have determined yields better outcomes than just physical fitness alone. Yes and no. The conversation has changed over time. Inside of the U.S., for example, if I go back to 2009, 2010, a lot of people didn't know what we even meant by well-being. Oh, we have physical fitness programs, isn't that well-being? And so a lot of it was education to help people not just understand what our definition of well-being is, but also why it's important, why it's better than physical alone. And so when I go to conferences today that has many employers there, the dialogue is different. The conversation has changed quite a bit because now there's much greater acceptance and understanding of this thing called well-being, not just physical health. Yes, so there's a lot of things that you can do that can lead to higher well-being among employees. The first thing that you want to do is have programs that accommodate all 5 elements, right? That's not just about physical. You have to have a very strong, sustained voice from your leadership supporting this, so people know that it's important. They know that it's not ever going to go away. So that makes it a part of the culture. You also have to create awareness about what is available. Our research has shown that about 40% of employees inside of employers that do in fact offer well-being programs are not even aware that the programs are being offered. And then you can create, incentives. You can, yes, some financial incentives I think can be useful, but more than that, recognition, competition, things that create psychological incentives for employees to participate can be very, very effective. And we know, we've studied this very carefully, without exception, with every outcome I've ever looked at, be it a health outcome or a business outcome or a community-based outcome, where we find strong, complete, holistic well-being, it's just better. It's just better than physical alone, and it's better than no well-being at all. It relates very strongly to a variety of different outcomes. You bet. My employer is a good example. I work for Gallup. Gallup has transformed its culture, its workplace culture, into being a well-being culture. This has happened over the last 6 or 7 years. It's very different now than it used to be. Health is a big part of that. Okay, but also volunteering in the community and social events that include your family, planning for retirement and investing, so financial well-being classes, and using your strengths, talent-based hiring and selection, all the things that are part of purpose well-being. These are things that Gallup has very, very aggressively pursued with its workforce. And what we have found, consistent with our models, is that healthcare utilization is down. The rate of per person growth in healthcare utilization in our company is around 1 to 2% per year over the last 7 years, which is far lower than the average rise in healthcare among all workers nationwide. We also find that people miss fewer work due to poor health. We find that our associates are better performing with clients and customers, so customer loyalty is better. And we also find that people are less likely to change jobs. Okay, so there are a lot of things that are very relevant to the financial success of a business that is directly linked to the well-being of the people who work there. That's a good question. There might be some range in answers depending on the situation. My general answer is yes, of course, it's worth it. We know that employees with high well-being, including high well-being with their community, are more attached in turn to their employer. They are more likely to stay with their employer. They're less likely to leave. So one way to reduce the chances of turnover, either voluntary turnover where the employee leaves on their own, or involuntary turnover where we lay off the employee or fire the employee because they're not doing good work, is by enhancing well-being. Now, closely related to this is what we call employee engagement. Employee engagement is a selection of psychological needs that employees have in the workplace. Things like good clarity around what you get paid to do when you walk in the door, or getting recognition for doing good work, or having a natural right fit for your job, or having a mentor to develop you, or feeling like your opinions count, okay? Learning and growing. These are all psychological needs that where employees experience them in the workplace, they perform better. They're engaged. When they don't experience these things in the workplace, they're disengaged and they perform worse. And we know that engagement and well-being are closely related. If you're an engaged employee, you're more likely to feel comfortable talking to your manager about well-being related things. You're more likely to seek out and participate in well-being programs. And you're more likely to see your well-being improve over time. Okay, so there's a synergy, there's a combined additive benefit of engagement and well-being that businesses and managers should be leveraging in order to enhance the well-being of their employees. It's a great strategy and I think it's absolutely worth the investment.
LENC, o elo sustentável da cadeia de valor da saúde.